Okay, and we're taking a look at the film A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, A Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984 and it was directed by Wes Craven. Okay, and as it was directed by Wes Craven, it was produced by Robert Shea. Of course, the actor was Robert Englund, which was famous in the 80s, starring in the show V. And Robert Englund is a very good actor. I think he even went to college. He went to the University in Detroit. Um, okay, so I'm just gonna get into it now. A Nightmare on Elm Street is a horror movie. A lot of people love the movie. Everything from rappers to rock and roll artists would use Freddy Krueger in their music videos, keychains, T-shirts, magazines, books. There was even a Nightmare on Elm Street TV series for a while. There was comic books, cartoons, anything you can imagine. Freddy Krueger had a cult following. Now, as horrible as Freddy Krueger might seem, I have a different interpretation of what's going on when you watch A Nightmare on Elm Street. A lot of people blame Freddy Krueger for the horrible, the horrible things that are happening. How people are falling asleep, going into dreams. He's mutilating people, yada yada yada. But if you go back and you start with the origins of the Nightmare on Elm Street film, he basically was a child killer. He went after younger people, and he used to work at a factory, and he would take them back to the factory and torture them or do whatever he was going to do with them. And basically, these people were coming up missing, they were coming up dead. So the town went after Freddy Krueger, and they took him back to where he worked at in his boiler room, and they basically burned him. Oh no, okay. He got arrested, and he went to court, and he got off on a technicality. That's the story. He got arrested. He did get arrested. He went to court, and there was something in the paperwork. He got off on a technicality. So the townspeople and the parents were mad. So they got a hold of him and burned him alive at where he worked at a shop, supposedly. So Freddy Krueger's, now you have two Freddy Kruegers. The Freddy Krueger when he was alive, and Freddy Krueger after, allegedly he died. So now Freddy Krueger haunts the children of Elm Street through their dreams. But the funny part about it is all the parents of the children on Elm Street know who he is. They know what he was doing. They know, they were there for the whole thing. They're the ones who killed him. So the parents keep misleading the children and telling the children that they're crazy or they're hallucinating or it's just a bad dream or Freddy Krueger's not real. Nancy's parents went to the extent of putting bars on her window, taking her to dream clinics and stuff, and they really wanted to figure out what was going on. And at the last resort, the mother had to tell her the truth. She showed her Freddy's glove, explained to her the whole story, and basically said, we knew who you were talking about from the beginning. We're the ones who killed him. Well, that might have saved her a lot of pain had the parents been honest and come out and said in the beginning, that sounds like the guy we killed. And so people are watching Freddy Krueger go through these episode after episode, mutilating all these children and the young teenagers, and the whole time the parents know who he is, but they just never say anything. So my take on it is the parents are mostly responsible because the parents knew who he was. The parents know that how can all these children be making this up? So that's my take on it. Is the parents are more responsible for this continuing than Freddy Krueger is. And it's an interesting film. Actually, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, the second Nightmare on Elm Street, they use the original house, which is in Mid-City, Los Angeles. It's right down the street from the house that they filmed Halloween at. So if you ever take a tour and you go to the Nightmare on Elm Street house, the Halloween house is right down the street, same street. And, so the first two films, they used the original house. Then after that, they used stage houses. In Nightmare on Elm Street 3, they used a stage house. In Dream Master, all the houses after that are staged. A lot like the movie Psycho with Anthony Perkins, how Alfred Hitchcock did the first one. Then I believe the second one, they used the same house. Maybe they used the same house in 3 of them. Or maybe, I don't know. The fourth one definitely was, and Psycho, the fourth one definitely was a stage house. But no, If I remember, the first one was the original. Then after that, they used the movie sets for the second and third one and on. But anyhow, so and Freddy Krueger is an interesting character. Actually, the movie, when you look at the movie, you really can't say is he in reality or not, because he comes in through dreams, which is interdimensional, but he has made it to physical reality. In the first one, Nancy pulled him out of the dream when she discovered she could pull his hat out. She pulled him out of the dream, and then she took her power away from him, and he basically disintegrated. In the second one, he comes out in physical reality, and there's more of them. You know, in Freddy's Revenge, that's how they killed him at the end, was he came out in physical reality. So he's like a phantom, spirit, ghost type entity, but then he has the ability to transfer over into physical reality when needed. This film reminded me a lot of the movie Wishmaster. Wishmaster with Robert Englund, I believe, directed Wishmaster. I love Robert Englund's movies. Robert Englund is up there amongst my favorite actors. You know, amongst my favorite actors. And Tony Todd, who played Candyman. I know him and Robert Englund had did an interview one time. I listened to it, and I thought it was a really good interview. And for those of you who don't know, Tony Todd not only played in Candyman, he also played in the movie Lena and Me, based on he was a hall monitor based on the true story of Joe Clark, who went up against the Board of Education to take his school back from drug dealers, yada, yada, yada. And it was a very famous movie in the late 80s. Okay, so some more information on Nightmare on Elm Street. This is the kind of film you can research forever if you want sort of a hidden symbolism approach to it, because it has so many fans. Nightmare on Elm Street fans aren't going anywhere. You know, they're going to be around for a long time. Every time you type in Nightmare on Elm Street, you'll see there's people all over the world. Kind of like the actor who played Kincaid. Let me find his name. The actor who played Kincaid, he had a following. He had like a whole club in Thailand. And like he didn't even know who the people were. He had a whole following in Thailand. Like they started a club just for him. I think Ken Sagos is his name. Ken Sagos. Then in the fourth Nightmare on Elm Street, the girl she's a singer, Tuesday Night. She was in the fourth Nightmare on Elm Street. Right, she was in the fourth Nightmare on Elm Street. But she was a replacement from the girl in the third Nightmare on Elm Street. The lead. Yeah, Ken Sagos. Kincaid. Okay. So, now Nancy Heather Langenkamp. And then one of the guys, the funny part, or it's not necessarily funny, but Dan, he played the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. I was reading in one of his biographies for actors, and it said he went to the service, went to the military after that. And it was kind of strange, like most actors, you don't hear about people getting into acting and then going into the military. That's not common. I'm going to have to come back later. I can't remember the name. Oh, Patricia Arquette, Kristen Parker. Okay, that's who it was. So Kristen Parker got replaced. Patricia Arquette. She was Kristen Parker in the third one, and then in the fourth one, Kristen Parker turns into Tuesday Night, the singer, and in the opening credits, you hear the song. How she's running, you listen to the song, she's running from the guy in the song, and that's her song. And if you go through and you look at all the parents throughout the series, they all got different sorts of hang-ups and stuff. They're not really paying attention to what's going on. And most of not all of them know who Freddy Krueger is. They weren't all a part of it, but a lot of them were. And they're all in denial about it. So basically, you got a child killer running around butchering children, and because they're all in denial about it, and so they're just sitting there. Freddy Krueger is out of control. And then I did a metaphysical breakdown of this film a while back. I guess the sound didn't come out for some reason, and so somebody wanted me to do it again, and I thought it was a good idea. Then in the end of the first one, it was strange how he pulled her through Nancy's mother. He just pulled her through the window. And like her father, John Saxon, which played, of course, Enter the Dragon. John Saxon is one of my favorite actors. Him and Jim Kelly and Bruce Lee played Enter the Dragon. But John Saxon, he's the father, and he's a police officer. And he was a part of taking Freddy down when they burned him. And then he's sitting there in denial, pretending like she's crazy, so he won't have to be responsible. I love the psychology behind the film. I can watch this again. Then the boiler room, on the first film at least, the boiler room where Tina and Nancy go to and all that, that's actually an old jail, the Lincoln Heights jail. That jail is famous from the Zoot Suit riots of the 1930s. There's a lot of historical stuff connected to Nightmare on Elm Street. It was a great movie. I won't even go see the new one. I won't rent the new one or order it through the internet or whatever or go see. I just won't. I feel like I'm disrespecting the time. I feel like I'm disrespecting my experience of watching the original one if I see the new one. So I don't even want to do it. And that's creepy how they got the little girls jumping up and down. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, lock your door. Then they had the old Nintendo game. I remember that. I played that a few times for NES. I always thought Nancy was pretty when I was growing up. Nancy and Tina. I wonder what happened to Tina. I wonder if she's still with Rod Lane. That's kind of funny how you watch movies where people are in high school, and in reality they're in their mid-20s. Like rerun from what's happening. He was supposed to be in high school during the television show, but in reality he was like 24 or something like that. Like these people are supposed to be in high school and they're, you know, they're grown adults. It's just something about this movie. I don't know what it is. That's Johnny Depp, of course, in the film. That was Nancy's boyfriend, how she watched him get massacred across the street. And then the whole time the film's going, the parents of Johnny Depp, they're saying that Nancy's crazy and they don't want her around Johnny Depp. But in reality, she's trying to warn him of this guy who's trying to kill him. And they all think there's something wrong with her. But in reality, there's something all wrong with them. They're covering up the whole scenario. That's one of the, see, Freddy Krueger is deep. Freddy Krueger is deep. Like in the second one where he was driving that school bus and he just took off to the desert and they were going, no, no. Or that guy was on that motorcycle, he made that motorcycle take him over and burn him alive. I think I'm going to use this picture for the thumbnail. I can just picture John Saxon like, I don't know how we're going to explain to the public there's a homicidal maniac terrorizing people through their dreams. You know, we're going to lose our pension for this. You know, Freddy Krueger's slick too. Like he frames people. Like Freddy Krueger set Tina's boyfriend up, and then well he didn't set Tina's boyfriend up, but they had nobody else really to blame but Rod Lane, and then he got him in the jail cell. But Candyman, scandalous Candyman sets people up. Candyman, the film Candyman, he set that woman up. Candyman is scandalous. Yep, and that's my metaphysical breakdown of the film A Nightmare on Elm Street. I really would like to go further. There's so many facts and stuff I can pull out. I'm sure if I went to a website, I could be on here all night. Elm Street facts. You know, uh, when this film first came out and it made it to television, I believe they played it overseas in Okinawa, and children were having seizures. Not because of the film, but because they had just been introduced to televisions in the 80s. they introduced the island population televisions, and the younger people started having seizures from it because they had never watched the television before. I wouldn't mind getting one of these people on my show. Like Rod Lane or Tina or somebody, wouldn't that be cool? See how Rod Lane's doing? I like the fourth one, the poster, Terror Beyond Your Wildest Dreams. That's crazy. The poster for the fourth one is the best. Terror Beyond Your Wildest Dreams. That'd be cool to be able to talk to Tuesday night. Wes Craven spent a lot of time on these films. If you ever look at the making of some of these films, he spent so much time in this stuff. And the artists they had were wonderful. The different posters, not just posters in English, but they did posters. They did posters in Thai, Cambodian, third world. They like when they presented Nightmare on Elm Street, the whole series. I mean, they were presenting it not to third world countries. Like they really went all out. Yep, that's a metaphysical breakdown of a Nightmare on Elm Street on the Jamil Rawls show.